The hero that you are waiting for is yourself. But there's something very freeing about knowing that you are in control. As many of us have been on the internet, surfing around, looking at different posts out there, we see lots of times a lot of negative feelings toward the economy. There's a lot of people out there that essentially, I would argue, is posting rage bait on the internet, talking about all the things that people are potentially struggling with and how certain generations or groups of people cannot get ahead in our economic format. And I would argue that it's not just today. We can focus on today, and the feelings that they have would be true, but I have noticed in the years that I've been paying attention that people were also complaining about economic things 2 years ago, 4 years ago, 6 years ago, 8 years ago, and so on and so forth. So it doesn't really matter what year you pick, there are people that are complaining about the economy. And I just want to talk about why that is not healthy for us to be essentially doom scrolling and going through and just looking at every negative take when it comes to the internet. So it's easy to focus on negativity. We know with the news, negativity sells. Positive news isn't something that is popular. It is the negative stuff that people click onto and want to look at and talk about and spread to their friends and neighbors and so on and so forth. I also think that with negativity, it's easier to remove yourself from the equation, essentially taking yourself out of it and as something that you have no power over. And by being negative, you can do that because essentially you're saying that this is a problem I can't solve. I'm just going to be negative about it and complain, and that's it. There's no further steps. It's just I'm going to complain about it. And I think negativity really encourages you to do that. So if you find yourself in that negative cycle where you're just going and going and going, I would highly recommend that you need to start thinking about more positive things. Not necessarily saying that you should just be thinking happy thoughts. Yes, the things that are out there are real. Yes, the problems that exist out there are real. But focusing on them negatively is not going to solve any of those problems. If you're new here to my channel or my history a little bit, I am a teacher. And so this idea of negativity really strikes home with what I do every single day as a teacher, because I encounter children who have the same outlook early on in their life with math, with social studies, with writing, with reading, you name it, they got it. And they're going to be thinking about how they can't achieve that. Oh, math is dumb. Nobody knows how to do that. How is this relevant to my life? How am I going to solve this? And why do I even need to know it? All these different negative complaints that are made by children in school are the same things that adults are doing when they grow up, right? They just take what they've learned in school and carry it with them into adulthood. But here is what I found as a teacher. The kids that are negative never learn. They continue in the same path that they always did. The kids who take a more optimistic point, or even if they're not very optimistic, but they just believe in themselves and think that they just need to redo things or reorient or restructure, replan, those are the kids who eventually learn and overcome the challenge. So if that's true in school, it's true in life outside of school. If you're looking at your financial situation strictly from a negative outlook, and you're agreeing with every person's post on the internet saying how you can't get ahead, your life sucks, all this stuff over and over and over again, then all you're doing is not getting anywhere. You're not really doing anything, actually, to be honest with you. You need to look at problems as things that can be overcome. I can't overcome it yet, but I just need to rethink how I'm looking at the problem. I need to practice more, or I need to come up with another strategy, or I need to ask for help. There are avenues, there are strategies out there to overcome the predicaments and the problems that you're in. And here's the thing, and I tell my kids this all the time, you're not just going to magically get good at it. It doesn't happen that way. You don't just stand there one day, get slapped across the forehead, and all of a sudden now you know it. That's not how it works. You have to practice, you have to endure, you have to change your strategy, you have to be okay with making mistakes and then overcoming those mistakes and all those different things. That is how you get better. So everything I just mentioned is called hard work. That's really what it comes down to. It's hard work. And so if you're looking at life in a negative aspect, then you need to step back and say, okay, I need to look at these problems as not impossible challenges that I can't overcome. I need to look at these problems as things that I need to work through. And it's going to take work to do it. It's going to take work to do it. So I'm not trying to make this a pull yourself up by your bootstraps type of thing. That's not the point. And I'm not trying to be old man yelling at the clouds either, okay, and saying that you're just being spoiled and blah, 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 blah. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm trying to get across here is that nobody is coming to save you. The government's not coming to save you. There's not a rich uncle out there who's going to die and give you an inheritance that's going to come and save you. None of that is going to happen. The hero that you are waiting for is yourself. You are the hero you are waiting for. That means that you're the one that's going to change your life journey. Nobody else can do it for you. So whatever your issues are, maybe it's debt. Maybe it's you don't budget at all. Maybe it's you have out of control spending in a certain area. Whatever it is, nobody can fix that. It's only you. You're the one that's going to have to put in the work to do it. So I highly encourage, if you find yourself in those doom scrolling moments, and I agree, I find myself in those moments too where I'm focused on negativity as well. But you got to pull yourself out of it, because none of that is fruitful. None of that is going to help you. None of it is going to improve your life. If all you're doing is spending your time there, ask yourself this. If I don't know, maybe you've been spending on negativity for months now. Has it helped? Have you gotten any further in life watching all those channels or posts or whatever on the internet talking about how awful everything is? Has any of it helped you? Probably not. You're probably in the exact same spot that you were months ago. So I would highly recommend unsubscribe from those groups, turn them off, block them. I don't know. Do what you need to do. But it's time to start taking away those influences in your life and start looking for influences that are going to help build you up. Not all sunshine, rainbows, ignore the problem, pretend they're not there. No, that's not what I'm talking about. But people who are acknowledging the problem and then saying, okay, now what's the plan to get out of it? Because that's the next step. Oh, yes, that's a problem. Man, houses are expensive. Okay, what's the next step? How do we overcome that? That's what we got to do. All right? Now, I don't know if you have anything else to add to that, but that's my little soapbox, my little TED Talk. Thank you for joining.
Preach it. No, I do have, I guess another comparison would be raising kids. You don't want to teach your kids learned helplessness. You want to teach them how to problem solve and how to pivot and adjust and try a different method to accomplish what they're trying to accomplish. We can't just do everything for them, or they're going to grow up and they're going to come across issues and not know how to solve them because they weren't taught any different. And I think sometimes we just need to kind of parent ourselves in that way, get out of that learned helplessness and realized that we're capable of so much more than I think what we ever give ourselves credit to. I mean, same with kids. They're so capable, more than we'll ever know. And so are you, so am I, like so much more capable than I think sometimes what the internet says we're capable of.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes it's just a mindset shift, and also just establishing goals that you actually want to achieve. Like if there's something in your life that you want to overcome, then you need to put in the work to overcome that. It's like he said, it's not just going to be slapped on your forehead and it's going to magically, all your problems are going to disappear. That's not life. You need to sometimes acknowledge life and realize that you are in control of your life. And there are some aspects that you aren't in control of, like, housing, the interest rate on houses. You're not in control of that, but you are in control of how you save your money or how you spend your money. Or
where you live.
That's true, where you live, which I know, family ties can really keep you rooted. But if it's your goal to, want to be a homeowner and it's just, you're looking at the math and the math isn't mathin' for you to be able to buy where you're at, then maybe that's something to consider if that's something that you really, really want to do in life. You just have to make it happen. And sometimes it's hard decisions. Sometimes the solution is hard. It's not perfectly what you want it to be, but maybe it's exactly what it should be.
And what you said there about mindset, that brings me to one of the last points I wanted to make for this segment. And that is, in school, going back to that again, at the very beginning of the school year, one of the things I teach my students is the difference between a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. If you have a growth mindset, it means you look at problems as, I may not be able to accomplish this yet, but with time and practice, I will overcome. A fixed mindset says, if I can't do it right the first time, I'm never going to be good at it. You're either born good or you're not. You're either born good at math or you're terrible at math. There's no in between, and you can't get better. That's a fixed mindset. So you want that growth mindset. You want to be looking at life as, with enough practice, with enough time, with changing my strategy, asking questions, I can get better and I can overcome the problem. Whereas you don't want that fixed mindset where it's, I'm either good or I'm not. And there's nothing I can do to fix that problem. There's something very freeing. I know it's scary for some, but there's something very freeing about knowing that you are in control and that you are the difference between success and failure. It's tempting to be a fixed mindset because then you get to push the responsibility on somebody else, right? You could say, well, I'm just not good at it, so your problem, you solve it. It's tempting to do it that way, but it's not reality. It's not the truth. The truth is you are in control and you are that deciding factor between success and failure. So whatever your goals are, as we're coming into the new year, 2026, whatever your goals are, remember, you're the one in control. And you need to look at it as, it's going to take time. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to have to reevaluate, but I'm going to push through and I'm going to succeed because I am the difference maker and I am capable of doing it. That's how you have to look at life and everything, not just personal finance. That's like a life coach thing too,
Yeah, things don't happen in just a snap of a finger. And I know the internet portrays that, like things are just going to happen like that. And no, that's not life. Like things take time. That's reality. And the internet can be very deceiving in that way because you'll see this young person and it looks like they have all this success and they have this nice house and brand new Lamborghini. But underneath all of that is crumbling debt and incredible unhappiness because it's only money that's really given them any sort of temporary joy in life. And like you don't see what's underneath all of that. And it's a big iceberg, just put it that way. So it's just things do not, I think nowadays people think things happen so conveniently and at a snap of a finger or like just people are just lucky. And no, I think things happen when you make them happen, when you put in the work and you let it grow over time. A flower doesn't happen in a day. It takes time to go from a seed to start to root and plant and then finally it flourishes, but it takes time. And so does everything else in life. So I think also just reminding you that things don't happen in a snap of a finger. And I know that we've even just trying to get out of debt ourselves, like it's taken years, and it's taken a lot of hard work and dedication and sacrifice. But here we are nearing towards the end, and life just feels lighter. But it also, in the beginning, didn't feel light. It took a lot, like I said, a lot of dedication, a lot of time and sacrifice.
Yeah. All right. If you have any thoughts about our little pep talk segment, I guess you could say, you can leave that in the comments down below. We're going to go.